Welcome back to the Hawkeye Garage. I am Joe. We've got the GX470 back again this week, and I am going to show you a cheap and easy way to fix your broken power window, power door lock trim panel, so stay tuned. Yes, it's also smoky in my garage at the moment because I am roasting coffee, so the garage is not burning down. Don't worry about that. If you have a GX470, there is a very good chance that the clip on the back of one of your trim panels for your windows and door locks has broken off. Now, if you've had terrible luck, like I have, with gluing it back on, whether it's hot glue, super glue, JB weld, plastic weld, epoxy, any of those, let's go ahead and drill a hole in it. Let me show you. So here's an up close of that trim panel. Of course, there's 4 of them in the car. There's a clip on the back here, a little plastic tab with a metal clip on it. There's one that should be on the front up here, very similar type, and although the back ones seem to stay intact pretty well, for whatever reason the front ones break. I've had 2 front ones break on my 470. I tried gluing them back on. They never go back in the right place. There's not enough real estate there for the glue to really bind and to clip back into place properly. So I figured this panel is already essentially junk. It's broken. So let's go ahead and drill a hole in it. Here is what that hole is for. This is a nutsert. It's basically a threaded insert. It's a nut that you crimp into place with a special gun, kind of like a pop rivet gun. And I believe these use like an 832 screw, and the outside diameter of this insert is about 3/8 of an inch. This slot that's already there is where that plastic clip would have clipped into place. Normally you would drill a round hole for the nutsert, but this does fit in here nicely. You could use a well nut, which is kind of like the rubber version of this, and when you tighten the screw, the rubber swells and friction holds it into place, and then when you take the screw out, you can remove it. If you don't want a permanent solution, you could go that way. I had these, they fit, so I used them. So basically I drilled the hole the best I could on the trim panel. You can kind of see where the clip was attached, and so I tried to do my best to drill the hole essentially right in the middle of where that was, assuming that's where a good spot would be to line it up with that nutsert in the slot that's on the door panel. After I had my hole drilled in the panel, I clipped it into place. I set the nutsert in here. I did not crimp it into place. It kind of is a little bit of friction that holds it in there. So basically I put the panel in, screwed the screw down into the nutsert because I could kind of wiggle the nutsert back around to get it where it needed to be. Very gently took the screw out, took the panel off, and kind of marked or eyeballed where this nutsert needed to be. On this one, it basically needed to be all the way back down towards the slot, so it was pretty easy. I could thread it onto my tool, I could put it on there and crimp it into place. And the finished product looks like this. This is a stainless Allen head screw. I just painted it black. I figured that would kind of look the best. You could leave it stainless. If your hole doesn't quite line up to where you end up with your nutsert, you could always drill this hole a little bit bigger. Then you have wiggle room where the screw needs to go. And if you're way off, you could get a really nice finish washer like this. This is not the right size, but you guys get the idea. And then you could drill the hole even bigger if you really kind of messed up and you needed that extra coverage to make it look nicer. Or if you just wanted to have a trim washer on there to, I don't know, complete the look, you could do that too. Like I said, this is just stuff I had on hand, and that trim washer is too big, hence the little gap in there. Well, that takes care of that. Generally, I hate drilling holes and like permanently like ruining panels or pieces of a car, but like I said, that clip is broken off. The piece is essentially already ruined. Yes, you could get really good plastic welds and have those little metal inserts to secure everything. The problem is it just never quite lines up again perfectly, and it never clips into place perfectly. And then when it doesn't clip into place perfectly, it breaks itself off again. So this is a way more permanent solution. You can find those trim panels like on AliExpress. Generally they come in the silver color, which is what they come on the Prados overseas, hence AliExpress. And they're not cheap, they're not super expensive, and then you'd have to probably do all four, so you could do a color change, which is definitely cool. Which brings me to another, one of the biggest gripes I have about the 470 is there is lots of wrecked ones out there. If you go on car-part.com, lots of wrecked ones, lots of parts, but for whatever reason, I can never get anyone to respond to a phone call, a voicemail, an email, trying to buy a part, or they always want a fortune for the parts. I realize this is a high-end vehicle being a Lexus, but when it boils down to it, it's still a 15, give or take, year-old American SUV, because you're car-part, you're buying used parts from the States. And I can't see there being a huge demand for a lot of like interior parts like that. So I don't know, I guess they'd rather keep them instead of sell them at a reasonable price, like 4th gen 4Runner parts. And also, like on Facebook, I see lots of people have them quite often. They've bought from the salvage auction or bought back from an accident selling parts. I have yet to get one of those people to respond back to me when I've tried to buy a part. I'm still trying to find a plastic trim panel for my hatch. Cannot get anyone to get back to me on any platform. Can't find one on eBay. I don't know what it is about getting kind of used parts for these, like cosmetic parts. That's probably my biggest gripe at this point for the 470. Anyway, if you have any comments, questions, put them down below or email me, hawkeyeskunkworks@gmail.com. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, turn those notifications on. And this is a lot of stuff that we do on the channel. Off-road vehicle type stuff, DIY stuff on the cheap and easy, and kind of my tips and tricks to help you along the way if you're in a similar situation as I am. So until the next video drops, thank you for watching. Take care. Goodbye.